Here's an example of ventricular fibrillation. If you look at this, you can't find a T wave, you can't find a P wave, you can't find a QRS, you can't find anything. It just looks like it's all over the place. The ventricles are just fibrillating, they're moving really fast, they're not contracting properly, we don't have any blood leaving the heart. This is a lethal rhythm. If you do not fix this one, the patient will die. The moment this happens, they faint. I mean, there's pretty much nothing. This is what a lot of patients go into when they go into cardiac arrest. Or you hear a patient codes. This is what could be happening. You need to fix this. The rule of checking the patient, well, there wouldn't be a patient awake or even alive when this happens, so this needs to be taken care of quickly. But notice you can't find PQRS, it's all over. This is ventricular fibrillation. That's what that looks like. Here is ventricular tachycardia. Now notice it's nice and symmetrical, but these are essentially QRSs coming from the heart, coming from the ventricle, but they're very wide. Remember, we talked about narrow and wide. These are very narrow. So they look really good. It's VTAC, but pretty much not a lot of blood perfusion. Some blood may be leaving, but notice how fast this is. If you add this up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 130 if those were normal heartbeats. Patients usually faint. If this is slower, some patients are awake on slow ventricular tachycardia. This is also a lethal rhythm. You need to do something about that. These are the rhythms, this one and VTAC, when you see on the movies, we need to shock the patient. That's what they're shocking them for, is to get them out of VTAC and VFib. Very wide, very symmetrical, not working so well. This is what's called torsades. Torsades is usually brought on by usually a low electrolyte, usually mag sulfate. Notice it looks like an accordion. It's up and down, but it gets smaller, then wider. So it's narrow, gets really wide, gets narrow, gets really wide, narrow. This is an example of torsades de Pointes. Patients can be awake in some of this. Sometimes they're not. Usually electrolyte issue, but this is a this one is also a ventricular dysrhythmia. Asystole. Obviously, if you have asystole and you have no heartbeat, you're probably going to die. This is a lethal rhythm as well. Lethal rhythm. Nothing's happening here. It used to be years ago, they thought if a patient went into asystole and had no rhythm going, if we shock them, it'll snap them back into normal rhythm. That's not the normal treatment for that now. Usually doesn't work. Pulseless electrical activity. This is called PEA. This is also a lethal rhythm. It looks like we have some normal heart electrical activity there. But what's happening is, yes, I've got some activity, but it's so small or it's so few and far between, I don't have a pulse with this. So it's not like I've got VTAC and it's all over the place. This one is almost like asystole. I don't have a pulse with PEA. So this one is also a lethal rhythm. Oh, this great big pause right here. Okay, we always check the patient first. Is the patient tolerating the rhythm? Check the patient, then treat the symptoms. So check the patient, check the leads. Check the patient, check the leads. Heart blocks. There are 3 major heart blocks. Second heart block has 2 types. This is what happens when you get a heart block and something's happening between the SA node and the ventricles. It's usually one of these. Let's look at these. So a first degree heart block. Now remember, I said that it should be a certain amount of time or between the P wave and the QRS. Here's your P wave and the QRS. This should be between the start of the P wave and the start of the QRS less than 0.20 seconds. If we measured this out on the computer, this is way longer. So first degree heart block means something is slowing that electrical impulse from the SA node down to the ventricles. It takes a lot longer than it should. So it does get through because we have P wave, long pause, but we still have a QRS and a T. P wave, long pause, QRS, T. So in a way, you would say, well, but if I still have a P, QRS, and T, it still should be a sinus rhythm. Well, a normal sinus rhythm, yes, in that you have all the pieces, but it's longer. So we gave a name for that. You still got a P, QRS, and T, but your P wave to your QRS is too long. We call that a first-degree heart block. There are probably millions of people around the world, millions, maybe billions of people that have a first-degree heart block and they don't know it. It still works, the heart works fine, they still have that QRS. It's okay. People don't have any symptoms with this because notice you still have the QRS after a P wave. It's still working normal, you just have a longer pause. So this is first-degree heart block. Second-degree heart block is categorized as type 1 or Wenckebach or type 2. So second-degree heart block, Mobitz Type I or Wenckebach looks like this. It's similar to first-degree heart block. Notice we have a long pause here between the P and the QRS, P, QRS, P, QRS. But what happens is that P wave, instead of it happening at the same length of time, it gets longer and longer and longer, and then it drops a QRS. So if you look at this, here's your P wave. It was pretty long, we still have a QRS. Here's your T wave here, but we have a P wave right here. Right there is another P wave. But it was so long between that P wave and having it catch and have a QRS, we just didn't have a QRS after that P wave. So we have a really long pause, then we have a P wave. That P wave got longer, it got longer. Here's that P wave again. It's so long, we dropped a QRS. There you have it. And that'll just happen on and on and on and on. So this is Mobitz Type I or Wenckebach. P waves get longer and longer until it drops a QRS. That's type 1 or Wenckebach. Patients can live with this if we don't have a lot of these drops in a minute time. So over an hour, how many drops do you have? Well, even though we dropped one here, if this is a 6-second strip, and let's pretend this is continuously going to be this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's still 70 beats per minute. So a patient can live with that one and be okay. If that's all it's going to do, 70 beats per minute, you're okay. You probably won't need to do anything. Now imagine if these happen more and more and more often, or it happened quicker, then it could drop your heart rate. Okay, type 2, second-degree block, or Mobitz Type II, the P wave is not getting longer, or it's not getting longer and longer, or anything with the P wave, other than the P wave sends out a message and nothing happens. Doesn't get, we just don't have a QRS. And if you measured these out, this P wave is the right length of time between the PR and the QRS. So that PR interval is within the right time frame. For some reason, the AV blocks it completely and we don't even have a QRS right here. So we're dropping beats, nothing's happening. So this can be dangerous. So if this one is a 6-second strip, that's only 30 beats a minute. Most people would feel faint, dizzy, they might pass out. So these patients, if they go into a type 2 degree block and drop those beats, they probably need a pacemaker because they're not going to get enough perfusion to the brain or the other vital organs. So QRS, P wave QRS, it's the normal length of time here, but they just don't go through. Type 3 degree heart block, third degree heart block, means the P wave and the QRS aren't even talking to each other anymore, not even communicating. So because of that, The ventricles are going to say, well, I'm not getting a message down from the SA node and the AV node, so I'm just going to do my own thing. Now remember, the normal beats per minute, if the ventricle initiates the heartbeat, is only between 20 and 40. Notice this one on a 6-second strip, we only have 3 beats in a minute. That's 30 beats per minute. People can't live with 30 beats per minute. So if you march this out in time, this would be right at the same time it needs to be right here. So we'd march this out, and we should have a P wave here, and one here. There's one here, actually, and one here, and one here, and one here, and one here. And then the QRS marches out the very same length of time. So the P's aren't talking to the QRSs. They're just doing their own thing. This can be a lethal rhythm. People can be awake with this, but we better get a pacemaker in them. If you lived way out in the country, and you're riding your horse in the Hawaii mountains, and you had this happen, and you fainted and no one to find you, well, you don't have enough perfusion here. So common causes of dysrhythmia. Different dysrhythmia things can happen for a lot of reasons. It could be aging. As we age, our heart doesn't work as efficiently. Maybe the electrical pathway gets problems. So it could be cardiomyopathy. When our heart enlarges, that could cause dysrhythmias. Something wrong in the conduction. That's a conduction problem with heart block 1, 2, and 3. Heart failure could cause dysrhythmia. An MI can cause a dysrhythmia. Valve diseases can cause a dysrhythmia. All different kind of things can cause a dysrhythmia in your heart. We have an acid-base imbalance. If we had too much potassium on board, we would have peaked T waves. If somebody is high metabolic acidosis, that's also going to cause a dysrhythmia. If that gets high enough, the patient will code from high potassium. Alcohol, caffeine, drug, being hit by lightning, not enough oxygen, poisoning, near drowning, all of these can cause a dysrhythmia, some lethal, some not. So what kind of symptoms might the patient have or exhibit with some of these heart rhythms? Well, it all depends on the patient. Every patient's different. We kind of have a textbook example of what we would expect, but every patient's going to be different. Somebody may be dizzy if they go into AFib, and some people may not be dizzy. Some people will be dizzy with aflutter and others will not. Some will faint. Depending on what your perfusion is, you may drop your sats. You may have pain. You may start sweating. You may turn bluish. You may have pallor. It may cause nausea and vomiting. It could be a decreased LOC. You may become very confused. You may be weak, clammy. You may feel like you have heart palpitation. You may feel like you're going to die. You may have that feeling of impending doom. All these symptoms. Doesn't mean everybody has them. That's why we check the patient first. Check the patient, check the leads, treat the symptoms. So, first question we ask, is the patient tolerating the rhythm? Is it a lethal rhythm? How soon does something have to be done? If somebody's tolerating a rhythm in atrial fib and they don't have any symptoms, it's not an emergency right now to do something. If they went into VTAC and now they're in VTAC and it's a lethal rhythm, we have to do something within seconds and minutes or they'll die. So it all depends on the rhythm and how the patient's tolerating. So check the patient, how the patient's tolerating the rhythm. What are the signs and symptoms? Is it a lethal dysrhythmia? How are we going to treat it? Different dysrhythmias are treated differently.